name is Joshua Kalama, and I am an MET student here at Southern Poly. I am also a Goodyear employee. I work at a Goodyear retailer in Acworth called Midtown Tire, where I am an ASE certified technician there. Today I'd like to talk about maintenance on your vehicle. My first plan was just to go over a general maintenance routine that could kind of cover most vehicles. And when I started looking at that, I noticed that there was a lot more to cover than I realized. So I further focused it on just oil changes, because there's so much out there and a lot of complexities to it that people might not know firsthand that I'd like to cover today. The reason I picked this topic today was because I was reading an article on an automotive article on Yahoo. This article, like many others, talked about a vehicle that reached 1 million miles, which is a great feat. The only way you can do that is just keep maintenance on your vehicle and keep it running as well as you can. So it's very much possible. I can't guarantee it for everyone, but hopefully a little more knowledge can keep you in your same vehicle as long as possible. And the first thing I'd like to talk about would be the grade of oil you can buy for your vehicle. You will see this on your oil cap, under your engine, and also in your owner's manual in your glove box. You'll typically see two numbers there. The first one's always lower. It's the viscosity grade at startup or winter temperatures. The W doesn't actually stand for weight, it stands for winter, which is commonly misconcepted. So I consider it more of a group than a grade. It's easier to think of that way. So it's not one temperature, it's actually a group of temperatures where your oil behaves a certain way in those temperatures. And the first one behaves differently than the other one because there's an additive added so that at startup your oil actually can give you as much benefit from it as possible. The second number is the typical performance of the oil without any additives, and that's at running temperatures. And the reason they do this is because at startup, your oil is too thick. It's not hot enough, and it's too thick to actually run through the engine. A lot of times it gets bypassed and actually sent back to be recirculated through the pump before it's actually sent to the engine. And so it's a really good idea to have your vehicle warm up before you just press on the gas, because this is when you need a lot of oil and you're really starving your engine of it. It's hard to tell because you still get the performance, but you're going to get a lot more engine wear and decrease the life of your engine. And the next thing I'd like to talk about would be the types of oil. You have several different types. First being natural oil, which is just like gasoline. It's drilled and refined in a refinery from the earth. There's a few things that are added to it. There are detergents, there are friction enhancers, which give you that lower number at startup temperatures, and then there are thermal enhancers. We'll cover these a little bit more. Detergents, you think they would run against oil and hurt its lubricity. Actually, the easiest way I like to think about it is actually with markers. If you leave marker on a board, eventually it'll dry up and it's hard to get off. But if you end up putting a brand new marker over your old mark, the new oils and detergents in them that were congruent will actually pull that old mark up, and you don't need any kind of cleaner to put on there. That's how essentially oil detergents work. So they do help and they don't hurt the performance of the oil. The other thing was the friction enhancer. Yeah, that's just a chemical that's added so that at startup you have a little bit better performance and at least wear on your vehicle as possible. The other one is that thermal enhancer. That helps the vehicle with high friction and high temperatures, keeps the oil from breaking down, so it helps the life of the oil. The next one I'd like to talk about is the high mileage oil. So for vehicles over 75,000 miles, this is a natural oil, but it contains a sealant as well. So that the major reason people like to use it is it helps seal up vehicle oil burning or leaking, this can really give you major benefit of helping seal that up. The next one I like to talk about is extended life oils, which they're natural oils. You'll see Mobil 1's come out with the most known. I believe it's got 15,000 miles between oil changes, which it's nice. I don't see it used very often. Another thing is you got to make sure everything else on your vehicle is working really well. So you have a lot of dirt in that oil, or you run your vehicle too hot or something, that oil will definitely not last as long. So it's something to be aware of. So it can be a little bit risky, honestly. So this has the natural oils plus more additives. So you have more of these friction enhancers to extend the life of the oil. The last one I'd like to talk about is synthetic oil, which synthetic oil is synthesized in a laboratory. So it's man-made, and it has all the same particles, which really helps keep the lubricity and viscosity of the oil the same, so they last as long as possible. And it's actually given superior additives that last longer. And the reason you need synthetic oil is if you don't have an oil cooler. A lot of imports utilize synthetic oil. And the other thing to think about is older vehicles that have synthetic oil, they need, or that you want to run it, you got to be careful because these superior additives can break up a lot of sludge and around seals that have little crevices that would have created leaks. It'll break them up and actually cause your vehicle to leak where it might not have in the first place. Um, and then you have additives that you can add to your oil after you replace it. A major one you'll see is MOA. It's motor oil additive. At first you run a alcohol solvent through the engine oil, very briefly so you don't have any engine harm, and then it cleans up the vehicle really well, and you put new oil in it, and you put an additive in it that really helps line metallic parts in the vehicle for those cold startups. It really helps. So someone's really working on that. And last thing I'd like to talk about is how oil breaks down. So at first it actually thins because all the additives wear out, and that's typically why you want to change your oil every 3 to 5,000. You know, natural oil is 3, 5 for synthetic, and then longer for the extended life. Because after that, you will get sludge, you will get gas mixtures, you'll get metal wear in it, and it'll hurt the filter and just the general performance of the engine. So these sludge and contaminants, sludge is actually wax, essentially. It becomes wax and dirt, and that's what creates sludge. Which is, once it gets to that point, it's a major harm to your vehicle. So that's why you really want to change your oil as much as possible. So hopefully this will give you a little more information about when and what kind of oil you should use in your vehicle, and hopefully extend it as long as possible. Who knows, maybe you could go 1,000,000 miles as well. I'll look for my classmates on Yahoo articles, and thank you.